The Ontario Scenic Caves was an attraction I'd never heard of prior to my visit, even with its proximity to the more generally known Blue Mountain Resort. But as a beautiful location on the southern coast of Georgian Bay, the Ontario Scenic Caves promised a degree of adventure that I was craving for this summer. So, with the family all here, let's begin the trek uphill on the many trails available to us. There was a decent amount of stairs to get us to a higher vantage point, but this was just the beginning for what was going to be an all-day journey. Each spot located higher and higher gave us even better views of the locales and naturescapes that I could only dream of living in the concrete jungle that is. The Lover's Rest spot claimed to be a romantic spot with views of Georgian Bay, but this set of binoculars here cost $2 just to use for like 30 seconds. More like rip-off rest, but whatever. The views are good enough without the binoculars anyway. These little markers showed us the selection of paths we could explore along the way, with this one being a pretty simple one towards the caverns. Speaking of which, Maiden's Love was one of the first caverns here, and according to the indigenous folklore, had a man thrown in there by his enemies, and his lover followed him soon after. But the horizon line from up here was absolutely stunning. The dense forestry is a rare sight for a city person like myself, and as cliche as it sounds, the air genuinely felt fresher out here. Continuing our journey, it was time to follow the Blue Trail into the caves and caverns this locale is named after. Stepping down into the ravine itself felt like exploring an untouched wilderness, but with the safety of metal stairs, of course. Par for the course given your standard tourist precautions. What wasn't so standard was this next section called Fat Man's Misery. There were so many warning signs saying how tight this chasm was, and how people who weren't flexible or too wide for this shouldn't attempt it. And like they had problems with it before they got sued. Though as someone who fit the criteria, I sought to try this task out and hope not to die.
Hi. So you might be wondering how I got here.
Thankfully, there were some railings and stairs within the cave itself, so I wasn't going to slip and impale myself on a stalagmite or something. Venturing within, there was some lighting allowing for a smooth navigation through, and again, more warning signs kept appearing, especially when I arrived at the spot itself. They really don't want people getting stuck, and I can see why. It would be a whole hassle to deal with, but thankfully, I'm not going to be one of these people. I hope.
I am in the cave. This is awesome. However, I may die.
Despite all the warnings and cautions, the maneuver itself really wasn't that complex. Granted, I'm a rather thin individual, and I'm not all that tall either, so maybe it was just circumstance that the obstacle wasn't harder to conquer. If you like travel videos like this, I'd urge you to like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel a lot in 2025, so any support is greatly appreciated. There's more travel content ahead, but for now, back to the video. The course does offer a metal bridge and stairs over Fat Man's Misery for those who can't or don't wish to try it, which is very much appreciated. As we continued on, it was time to explore the ravines proper. The mossy stone along the walls gave this place a really ancient feel to it, especially the uneven stone on the ground, which was, albeit difficult to navigate, but added to the immersion of the location. While the path was fairly linear, it was pretty great to explore on foot, as if we were truly in the wilderness to a degree. The way at which each cavern framed the next part of the path had me very excited to see what lies beyond. Leaving the ravines via these ramps, it was time to progress upwards and towards another main attraction at the site. Trekking through more woods and trails, it gave us some time to appreciate the simple nature of our environment before continuing onwards. We were soon approaching this vast open space and the pièce de résistance itself, the Scenic Caves suspension bridge. This titan of a bridge crossed over the largest section of the park thus far, with wires rising to brand new heights. Its wooden planks spanned the distance where the end was hardly able to be seen. You could even have so many people on here despite its narrowness, as this sign was very clear to showcase that, and settle our family debate on the topic.
Oh, it does say stacked 4 high.
Here I was, ready to cross the bridge and experience the wonders of our technological ingenuity in concert with nature's pure beauty along the way. This area in particular was fantastic to see both sides of the forested space, and truly something to be experienced personally that no video can convey in full. Though you should keep watching this video, it's still pretty cool, but you know. Once we were across the bridge itself, the trail went low and allowed us to circle back under the bridge and reconvene with our previous path. As fun as it was, there's something I've been hiding in the editing that was my first crossing of the bridge, which was... well, I'll just show the clip. I just realized how silly it is, because it's gonna be knowing that someone's holding the camera and it'll come back to grab it, which is even funnier. Anyway, that's the funny, that's the bit. Following that, we decided to drive over to the nearby Blue Mountain Village, the generally more popular of the two attractions with winter skiing and summertime fun for all. With it being Canada Day, many families had the day off to spend here today. We went to this Italian restaurant called Magnone's, which seemed fine enough other than the tourist prices, but that's to be expected given the area. We are in Soupland territory. I did not order soup, and we have received soup. It is good though. Well, Past Damon, no it was not! I ordered rosé sauce and found it to be the worst of two worlds. It's tomato-like but with less flavor, and more creamy than cream sauce, the worst of both aspects. The pasta was weirdly soggy, and I think the whole time I was just forcing myself to eat it, which is not a good sign. 3 out of 10 in retrospect, and really unfortunate given the pricing. Moving on from that, the Blue Mountain Village was actually quite nice to spend time in, even just walking through with the similar green naturescapes as before. The various stores and restaurants passing by as well as the Canada Day celebrations, I can see this place really sparking with activity during peak season in both winter and summer. What we had left were the green trails, easier walking paths through wood chips and gravel. Dense wooded areas with trees of immense heights kept us sheltered from the worries of our lives, which served as a more mellow break than anything to simply experience. It's not every day we get to be out here, so I thought to make the most out of this adventure. There was another mini ravine to walk through here, and it was pretty fun, though the main thing about this one was just the sheer amount of bugs inside, which was less than ideal. But at least the moss was pretty, so there's that. There's truly something about going on trails this far away from the main density of urban cities that really just helps me cleanse my mind a lot better. A good refresher considering how busy life can get. Continuing uphill, these spaces were still great to get another view of the tree line from up here. Overall, the Ontario Scenic Caves provided a much more calm experience that's very customizable to the kind of challenger level you're looking for on a nice summer day. If not for the price and the harder to access location, I'd visit a lot more often. The Scenic Caves gets a 9 out of 10 from me. Until next time, bye for now.